Today's events in nature are likely ones that you will not see frequently, nor shall I. Let's have a look. These are coatings of... Let's have a look. These are coatings of essentially icicles around every tree branch. Looks quite beautiful. There's a constant rain happening today, and there's a coating of ice on top of a snowfall from last night. So what we can expect to see is a change of environment that looks a lot different than the typical day here in the woods. That's because it's a reflection of our collective consciousness reforming into something new. As much as it's weighed down right now, it's also preserved until, of course, it's interfered with or interrupted. And then it springs back to its normal shape and form. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. The sounds of my feet on the... The sounds of my feet on the... The sounds of my feet on the... And I like to give relief at the same time to all those who come here seeking to let go of pain remembrances that seem to be crusted and frozen around your body. I like to set you free of such things, as it were. So set the volume to where you're comfortable with sound, no longer claiming yourself to be a victim of it, as if your salvation is to scroll somewhere else, somewhere more palatable, someplace safer, that better understands and knows you. That'd be foolish. For we have a once-in-a-lifetime type of game today, don't we? It is a once-in-a-lifetime type of game we are playing today. Hello all, grand rising. Love and light to all, says Divine Mother. Beautiful sentiments. Mama Bear, thank you. Thanks for the finger heart, Mama Bear. And thanks for all the love, everyone. It's bringing people into this room. Great risings to everyone, says Madre Cast. Thanks for the goat. Wow. And the heart me. All these gifts coming in. It's really nice. Thank you. Thanks for the invite, too. I wish not to speak to anyone because I won't be able to hear you in all this rain and snow to begin with. Second of all, this is a discourse. We have exchanges with people who type things in, and I respond to them. That's how it's comfortable for me now. So, thanks to all. Oh, Mama Bear came in from an invite from Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. We are now at 1,200 feet above sea level. Let's walk. Yes, you have pain remembrances crusted up like icicle storms around your body and spine. It has weighed you down, you feel the burden, and now you are set free. Lay your burdens down, and if in the first attempt it does not work, do it again. Keep laying your burdens down until you are free from them. It's called go into the imagination, see yourself as wish fulfilled, sit in it, marinate in it. Don't see yourself as above it or below it, but in it. Your body becomes where you are, and you become your body. Thus, the cells in your body can adjust to their vacation from pain. and start to release and surrender things automatically. I hit the tree in one place, the ice falls from all its locations that need to fall. Do you understand how this works? The imagination, all you have to do is step in and the body repairs itself. It needs a change of environment. It needs a little whack. It needs a little whack. And when it has a little whack, it starts to heal. That's all it needs. You give it a little whack by going into your imagination. Into your imagination. I imagine everyone is well today. I imagine everyone is peaceful, serene, calm, and holding down the fort. I imagine everyone transmuting their pain remembrances, observing yet judging none of this. Just watching the falling of ice from trees that otherwise would never be here on any other day but today. Such an amazing thing. So beautiful it is, undisturbed, but it is painful for the tree. So it's better to give relief to the tree. Give it a little relief from all that pain, all that's weighing it down, all of that burden. Give it some relief. Right? Isn't that what we're doing today? I could be kinder about it. Some of these branches are very fragile. So they say. I could take my time with them. I could listen to them. Try not to bend them too much or disturb them. And if some of this ice doesn't want to come off, I could just leave it. Because sometimes you have to just leave it for something that knows a better way, like our friend in the sky called the sun sends over warmth. Eventually it will let go of this ice. All that pain that's weighing it down, all these burdens. Only so much I can do with my walking stick. Only so much I can do with my words. The rest is on something that is greater than my collection of life experiences as ego. And that is what I want you to commune with on this day. You do this through the imagination, like a child. Come into your power. Grand rising to all. We are at 3,600 feet above sea level. A synchronistic number that Nikola Tesla would say is divinely inspired. Of course, you would have people chiming in from New Thought practitioners to Rudolf Steiner, all saying, yes, that's true. We are in harmony with the universal principle at perfect right angles. We are moving. We are evolving. We are growing. Pitter patter, says the rain. Who knows, we might just get a felled tree from all of this weight. A big elder might say, this is my final day. I finally had enough. I hung on for long enough and I'm about to snap. And I don't care who I fall on. Right? I don't care who I fall on. I've had enough. I've been weighed down for too long. I know I have responsibilities for all these plants around me. I know this is a path, but I've had enough. And I'm letting go now. I'm letting go. And then you have these usual suspects. Your raspberry bushes who get weighed down, and so their prickers become part of the scenery on this very destroyed path today. And this, of course, is just a normal day in the woods, isn't it? A normal day for the elder trees who have had too much and have been weighed down. A normal day for the raspberry bushes who give a lot of sweetness at one point in time, but you wouldn't be here for that time because the birds catch on faster than you do. They'll come and have that fruit before you even have a chance to see it ripen. So all you get from those beautiful raspberries are the thorns. That's okay. The birds have to have a treat now and then. I mean, of course, we feed ourselves treats all the time. We feed ourselves so many treats that we fall into cancer from them. We feed them with the beautiful sugar that we consume. When we cannot deal with all of this pain and heaviness, we tend to turn to substances and things that are outside of us for our salvation. Do we not? Or we turn away from them. We become strong and we fast from them. We remove them from our body and we detoxify. All the same, we are running from it. How many of us just disappear? Become nothing but the observation of nothing. How many of us become that? And how many of us would understand such a thing if we were to give all of the importance to these weighing down things? I don't wonder so much as I know it's rhetorical, folks. Like the knot on the tree, it has to be there. It's a boil. It came from some disturbance. It came from something. Something must have been the cause that weighed down the tree, that caused it to curve and lean, otherwise bend and break. Something must have caused it. Every tree in this woods thinking the same damn thing. Something outside of it is causing all this pain. Someone must have made this hill slippery today. Someone must have done this. Maybe the chemtrails. Maybe it's the government that still is holding on. Maybe it's some conspiracy theory. It's got to be something. And then there's the peace. It comes from the pattering of chaotic rainfall, disciplined in the way it relaxes the mind into a synchronistic waveform, as does the stillness of standing on a hill, observing while breathing, becoming nothing. Nothing but an observer of things. You'd wish for this to last forever. You'd wish for my voice to stop. Somehow, just have a few more minutes of this peaceful rain pattering. Hey, William, why can't you do ASMR like you used to at night? It was so relaxing. Why can't you be the old pushover that you once were? It was so much easier to get through to you how much you have lost. Why can't you just change for the sake of being more compatible with the world, William? Why must you constantly be at odds with all of us when all we want is to love you, cherish you, show you the side of the good that you have yet to see, even though you don't believe? Come back to us, William. Come back to the world of the attachments you once had. Feel that pain and know it's okay to talk about your problems. Know it's okay to discuss all of those pains over and over again. For it will do you some good to go see a counselor. Perhaps get a real assessment. Maybe some prescribed medication. William, did you know people trust your words? They trust what you say. They buy your products that you promote as beneficial to them. Yet we're seeing all these inconsistencies, William. Can't you come back? Come back to just being normal once again? And if I were to allow my ego to continue on this tirade of inconsequential claims of importance, then I would, in fact, fall back in to a state of being as an unconscious slave to all that is before me. Some part of me resists that without fighting it. It's like the door has already closed and it can't be reopened. It's already fallen apart and dissipated into dust, left behind a remembrance of something that can only be revisited through the mind. It can't be made again. I can't be a fool again. I just can't go back. Even trying to pretend is a moot point. It just is impossible to go back to being a fool. I'm sorry. I'm saying it to my ego. I know it wants to hold on. Everyone wants to hold on. No one wants to let go. So I leave it to God. You leave it to God. You leave it to a superior intelligence. I want to hold on to this wound. I don't want it to close up. I want to hold on to this story. I don't want it to end. I want to hold on to this excuse. It's way too convenient. If I were to let go of it, I'd have all this space and I would feel no other thing but the impetus to act, to do something creative, to take action. I can't do that. It's too inconvenient. So it's like we buy the video game so we can have the trophy on the wall. I have the system, I have the game. This is the game of life. Look at my beautiful, pristine game. Have you ever played the game? No, I haven't played the game. We should try playing the game. What do you mean I should try playing the game? You mean take it out of its box? You mean take it out of its pristine, perfect condition and ruin it? I wouldn't dare do that. It's perfect. It's a perfect trophy right here. I have the game of life. That's most people. Somebody comes by and says, well, you should really open it up. It's an amazing game. You get everything that you wish for. You could even have this pristine trophy on your shelves while also playing the game and living it. I can show you. I have it done myself. I already played through it a few times. I can show you every single day. I play the same exact level, but in a different way. And then you lose a friendship. That friend no longer talks to you. Because the friend doesn't want to play the game of life. They want to be around other friends who have the trophy that is the game of life on their shelves, pristine, unopened, unboxed, never played. Not a single experience point gained. That is life. And that is a choice, and that is totally fine. Lots of players like that around. It's called The Sims. Very popular. It's called the linear life. It's called the rat race, the run-of-the-mill, the average Joe or Jane, to be fair. Because in this world of average Joes and Janes, everything's fair. Everyone has the same amount. No one plays. And everyone's okay with that because we're all safe. Safe from obliteration of ever having to be embarrassed enough to want to play again. We're not even getting there. We don't want to be embarrassed at all. We don't want to be called out. We don't want to be told or judged who we are as human beings. So instead, we keep the game up on a shelf like a beautiful trophy, and we never touch it. We never unbox it. We never plug it in, and we never control it. Not once. Do you hear me, nature? Not once. Sunny nails it right here. There are a lot of people coming in, chiming in. Sunny nails it. Says, it's the difference between the conscious and the unconscious. Truth. This is described by Eckhart Tolle in his book, The Power of Now. He describes the individual who is a performer, afraid to step outside of the norm, to take a leap of faith in some incredible endeavor, to step into one's aliveness and truth, to feel peak performance, to scale the mountain. That's the difference. Unconsciousness is a performance. The performance is everything to the unconscious individual. The identity, the collection of life experiences, that person will fight to the death to defend it, is extremely offended if it's told it's something more than that. Call them something less, even more offensive. That's the part where you can be offended. To be called less than the creation of your identity, which is an illusion to begin with, is something to be offended by until you realize how ridiculous the claim is to begin with, because the identity itself is foolish. But we kill over it. We fight over it. We go on rants and tirades. I do it myself. You can see it on YouTube. You can catch it yesterday. It was quite a run. I had quite a run as a performer yesterday. William Vincent Carlton getting up on his monologue and getting off on it. Having a nice ejaculatory evening and afternoon through complaint and suffering. You could do it just as well or even better than a vagabond in the woods. What a game. What a game, but it's not everything. It's not. Because while I'm speaking, there's aliveness around you. A chaotic patterning of rain from condensation released in the sky. A crusting of ice that rarely is ever seen. From the perfect combination of environmental factors revealing itself now. And it can all be walked by and missed. It can all be seen as something inconsequential and totally random and non-important in comparison to your story of your trophy on the wall that's never plugged in and played. Never of your trophy on the wall that's never plugged in and played. Never as available to you. And I want this to irk your ego. I want it to piss it off. That's why I'm here. I want your phantom identity to understand it is no longer the chief executive officer of your life. It's no longer in charge. It no longer has any say. It obeys. It now obeys. It was planted upon you by your parents and by your society. Everyone called you by your name and you responded as if you were that. But it wasn't your creation. It was created by this external world that's an illusion in itself. Planted it upon you and made you into the straw man that you believe yourself to be. So be it. Let it go. Let it go. And it becomes subservient to you. Let it go. And the only choice you have is to step in to a greater place, your own personal kingdom. It's the imagination, and you had it before you had an ego. You can't have anything without the imagination first presenting it as an idea to entertain it. So let it go. Make an idea sound for the first time with consciousness. Come alive and observe the relief that comes from letting go of all pains, all that suffering, all that strife. Let it go. Let it go. The ego is going to say, don't let it go. You've got text messages to respond to. So-and-so said this to you in a comment. So-and-so's trying to convince you to be someone who you clearly are not and never will be. You're being led down a primrose path. You have no idea what's happening to you. I know how to protect you, says the ego. I know how to save you. And so you stop and you listen to the rain. And by listening to the rain, you're making a very profound statement to your ego without having to say a damn word. You say, that story does not move me as much as I observe I am alive. So I will not walk and I will not rant on your behalf. You are my slave now, you say to your ego. For you were impressed upon me like a warden of my life, without my consent when I was a wee one, a little child. I was given a name, given a social security number, given an indoctrination of education, and led to believe that I am you, ego, when in fact you're a creation of me. So come into understanding that now. The more I observe I am alive, the more I understand the ego is a shell, a phantom self that is being let go of right now, demoted as an act of government efficiency. All around us we see the weights that have been placed upon us by clandestine sources being revealed day in and day out, all transparency now coming forth, the weight that has always been there now being seen for what it truly is. And every part of it is being let go of now. All the jobs, all the corruption, all the lies and deceit, all the theft, it's all coming down now. Because it is a reflection of our own reflection of understanding who we are as divine beings, as one with this infinite intelligence that is Christ. All around us, the powers that wished to enslave us are collapsing. Witness it with glory. Do not be deterred by the rain. It's necessary to wash it away. So let it fall. And let it cleanse each and every iota of the American landscape. And let it be seen for the renewal that it truly is, and emulated once again as the greatest nation on earth. Let it be the epicenter of profound change on this day, for it is already happening all around you, cascading and sliding down like recently expelled lava. Of volcanic and biblical proportions. Never before in life have we ever seen such a thing. Just as never before in life had we ever seen such restriction, such deceit, such misinformation. Justin says, you got me on the primrose path thing. It's an honest reflection. Thank you, Justin. And break. It's an honest reflection. Thank you, Justin. And break. At the end of the day, folks, it's just words. You get to watch beautiful icicles. Look at this icicle. It's literally suspended in the air. Look at this. Oh, look at that. As if it were waiting for me. As if it were waiting for me. All those free electrons. You see, there's no chemtrails happening. So it's really tasty water. It's part of the slide that I was talking to you about just moments before as I was ranting. All of this water is so clean. The earth just knows how to clean it up when we're not poisoning it. Just like the body knows how to heal itself when we're not there. When we check out and go on vacation through the narrow gates into our imagination. It seems it knows the means and the way to relieve us of all of our burdens. Excuse me. Here comes the hail. The temperature must be dropping now. We'll see how long this phone wants to handle it. That's the fun part. I'm fine. Can't speak on behalf of this beautiful Apple product. Yes, what a beautiful Apple product it is. Let's talk about the Apple. I talked about it in a video the other day. The forbidden fruit. Yes, it is unconsciousness. Unconsciousness is the forbidden fruit that we have partaken in, thus letting go and giving up and relinquishing all of our freedom as divine beings by choosing to restore a phantom self as the chief executive officer of this life experience. And sometimes you have to get right to the core of that apple and keep at it until enough of that burden starts to fall down and finally release itself. What is a man to do but resist? Or otherwise plow through. Plow through. Lena sent a manifesting ×1. Thank you, Lena. We got a co-host invitation. Comes in every day around the same time. Thank you, but no thanks. Forest Earthling says, Earth is flat. That is certainly one of your games that's playing, and I'm sure it's fun. Watch out for the falling trees, says MSB. I will have some difficulty reading comments as it is raining in a downpour currently, which means I'm seeing Diana. Thank you for following. I had to remove a droplet of water in order to read your name in its entirety. Good. Looks like we will be going as long as we can today, knowing the rains are falling and burdens are being lifted and released. Snow is being crunched and steps are being taken. Come on now, folks. It's better to root for the strong than the weak. Better to root for those who made it through all this disgusting betrayal, i.e. every single one of us as normal people, led down the primrose path, as it were. Excuse me. Oh, TikTok shop, thank you, but no thanks. Crunch, crunch, says Mama Bear. Diana, thank you for following. Divine Mother says, infinite gratitude. I would love to pin some of these comments, however, my finger doesn't seem to be registering correctly on the phone, even when I scroll. So it will have to be what it is on autopilot. Mrs. B says, it's amazing to be outside during an ice storm. It sure feels unique. I enjoyed my icicle. It was full of yummy terpenes. Excuse me. Excuse me. We have now reached the interactive component of this game today. You will decide, first person to comment, left or right, shall be the turn. But keep in mind, it will be a stage left or a stage right. Lena says, I'm so happy to come by this live. Thank you. Mrs. B says, left. Of course, that would have to be a stage left, unless otherwise indicated. But then again, the image is reversed, so it's become quite confusing. I'm not even sure. Your own skipper of this, whatever it is called as a show, is unsure. Ooh. And we've come upon a stray branch seemingly floating in the middle of air. Da 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 da! Achievement unlocked. I now have a wand, and I'm discarding it. Uneven footsteps on this day. Oh, here's some chisme for you. Chisme in Spanish means gossip. Look at the sky, it's so beautiful. Here's some chisme for you, everyone. So, since my mother has been going off on a tirade for the last 3 days now, going on 72 hours continuous insanity, she decided after enough that it was enough. You know, after saying, get the fuck out of here, you're Satan, and believing that I'm conspiring to have some involvement in her life when the last thing I want is to be involved in her life, nor have anything to do with the story that I'm telling you now. But I tell you because my mother was so kind as to prepare me some dinner today, of course without asking if I would want any. That's how it works, folks. It's called, while I'm hating my son, I put all of that energy into the food I'm preparing, and then I offer it to him as a form of truce. And when he chooses not to consume it, I can then go off for another 3 days, because he's clearly rejected me, because he clearly cares that much. Da 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 da! When the fact of the matter is, I just want to have freedom as to what I choose to eat, when I choose to eat. It's not a big thing. I mean, it only makes up every single cell of my body and gives me ATP for actually performing this for you. So I kind of want to have say in the matter. But you know, that's not good enough for a Karen. A Karen's going to see that as a personal attack towards self. I prepared this meal for this person. I'm only kind and good. I want to make up for all this. Of course, I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to take responsibility for any of the behavior. And I'm also not going to talk about how I'm going to improve myself moving forward. But that doesn't matter so much as I made this meal for him. It's now on the kitchen counter. Enjoy it. It has all of my hate for you embedded into one tiny morsel that I would love for you to enjoy. And if you don't, I'll hate you forever. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, folks. These are the relationships that we now have going on in our homes. Left and right, regardless which way you turn. This is the type of dialogue and expectation that currently exists, which should let you know it's time for you to jump ship. Just jump fucking ship. Have nothing to do with any of it. Don't entertain it for a single moment. It's total insanity. Just don't even get involved. That's why I tell you this story. You are not caring enough about it. It has nothing to do with your happiness, nor your wish fulfillment. Don't care about it, even if it's in your face, even if it's your boss saying you have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to your fucking boss. You just walk away. You just walk away. If it's verbal abuse, you get the hell out of there. If it's environmental abuse, you call the cops. If it's physical abuse, you call the cops and you run. You get out of there. It's over. No more of the insanity. It's like that woman, I forget her name. She used to say, stop the insanity. What's her name? Susan? Outlaw Priestess says, I've been alone for 5 years. No, you're not. You're not alone. Sorry, I'm not going to argue with you about this. I'm going to carefully pin this and be sensitive towards what you said. I have not kissed a woman since 2021. I haven't kissed a woman on the lips since 2021. This is coming from the avatar who used to be in serial monogamous relationships. I'm talking one after another, man. I would break up and in 3 days I would have the love of my life. So it's going on 4 years since I've even kissed a woman. I don't ask why anymore. I'm staying in this physical world, but you know what I do? Every night I make love to my wife, but I haven't kissed a woman in 4 years. But every night I make love to my wife. Do you get it? You get it? Every night I make love to her. We get this now, right? This is exactly it. God has never left us. God is the provider of our life experience to make mistakes. God feeds us consciousness to make blunders. We make blunders when we believe ourselves to be victims of external circumstances. It leads us down the primrose path, which is a promise of solution or resolution, but there's none. It's just a perpetual cycle of pain embedded upon the body that leads us to want to entertain time more because we are feeling addicts. We are addicts of feeling. So as much as I haven't kissed a woman in 4 years, I make love to my wife every single night because I'm a feeling addict. I go into the feeling of being cherished and loved by the perfect woman in the perfect way. I hold her just the way I want. Her body is exactly the way I want it to be. So is mine. There's no difference between that and how much money I have in my bank account and how I use it to enrich the lives of everyone around me. I do it just however I like, whenever I like, all the time. But you could also say I have nothing in my bank account, which really isn't true, but you could say that. You could call me a vagabond. You could call me a homeless guy, but it's not the truth. Right now I'm a billionaire. And tonight I'm making love to my wife. In fact, I could make love to her right now in the woods. Pull her beside one of those elder trees, take in some of the free electrons and make some life. That's a wonderful story. You know what I do with that? I go back and I write about it and I solidify it in a novel. I take the woman of my dreams right behind one of these trees in the pouring ice rain and I make vibrant love to her, with her. And she moans so hard that everyone in the neighborhood hears something that is apparently dying, but it's not the truth. She's actually coming alive. One kimochi at a time. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I can do it, you can do it. All right? You see me? This is me. A vagabond in the woods. If I can do it, you can do it. There's no excuse not to do it. There you go. That was a nice session. Scoozy! Scoozy! I love how I walk with the walking stick. One foot goes to the right, the other one goes straight ahead. Now, if I went to a chiropractor, they would say that my psoas is out of whack, and I would say, so what? Get it? So what? So what I do anyway, because I'm self-conscious of these steps, that's why I pointed it out to you. It's really just my ego self-performing to you, whilst going in and out of aliveness, while pretending to be making love to my wife in the woods through the imagination, which is amazing, by the way. Every time it happens, every single day I come here, I come here. Every single day. And it's great. Sometimes there's sunshine, a little picnic, little bottle of wine, a nice birth year Burgundy. before we hop in a automated, autonomous Tesla Cybertruck and take it all the way. We charge it up again, and then we take it all the way to Quebec, and we make love in the Chateau Frontenac, and then we go to the arcade and we play some old Virtua Fighter 2. And once we've played enough Virtua Fighter 2, we get back into the charged Tesla truck and we take it back from the 51st state of the United States to the general New England area. In my imagination, I do all of that and more in a given moment, time and space. Outlaw Priestess says, I live in imagination. I love it. Built it when I was small. Indeed, you may believe. I live in imagination. I love it. Built it when I was small. Indeed, you may believe of your existence. It is tethered to an idea in the mind of an infinite intelligence that knows how to heal and expand you and indeed deliver you great, bright, love-making sessions in the middle of the woods, also part of the menu. In fact, there is nothing missing when it comes to God. For God is everything. Everything and nothing at the same time, for thinking it makes it so. And so, if you are unconscious, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not awake, if you are asleep at the wheel and you are victimized by all things, you will be using your imagination in that very way. To become nothing. To be nothing. To be a victim and a slave. And that's great. It's a great game. It's called The Sims. Enjoy The Sims. But for those adventurous souls who come by here, wondering how this tree has been removed after it had fallen just moments before, what trickery is this? For all those who are wondering, what trickery is this? It has all to do with being awake and paying attention. At first there was a tree that covered the entire path, and now it has moved. There's only a little bit of evidence left. But I didn't move it. And these are the only footprints. How could it be? Someone explain. And these are the only footprints. How could it be? Someone explain elsewhere. Gen X says, you are as wealthy as I. Indeed, we are all infinitely wealthy. Let's talk about the wealth. It was the elves, wasn't it, Fire and Fern Tarot? I believe you. I froze. I am back. Thank you for following the live creator. I didn't mean to pin that. Hello, dear sir. Peace and blessings to the live. I don't know why that was flagged. I'm not going to ask. Hello, Soul Family, says Lisa Fashionista. Yeah. Mai Tai followed. Where have I been, says Ryan. All around. GJ, thanks for following. Let's talk about our wealth. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our wealth. Whoa, I got a subscription. It just said I got a subscription from someone. I don't know how that happened. That's amazing. I love it. I love it, I love it. Hello, beautiful souls, says Overhoff. What's up? Let's talk about wealth. Would you say that your aliveness is valuable? It's a rhetorical question. You should say yes. Is your ability to be conscious valuable? Yes. Yes is the answer. Consciousness is valuable. Because without consciousness, you can't even have the observation of wealth. Without consciousness, you can't have the observation of success or strife or anything for that matter. Without consciousness, there is nothing. So the question then becomes, what gives us consciousness? And the answer comes in the beginning. when we were whole and complete as divine beings, when we faced 250 million other competitors for the cosmic egg and we arrived victorious, chosen as the one key that fits the one egg that is compatible for the bringing forth of life. And we unified with this beautiful egg and we became one with it, thus releasing the zinc that we brought on board, creating a spark of light, which opened a door and a pathway through microtubules, allowing there to be the descending of infinite intelligence into form, coming into our zygote cell, making something greater than the sum of its parts. Man and woman, no longer playing a role, becoming something entirely different, something so unique. Consciousness itself. Now dividing, now proliferating, now expanding into a form that becomes a human body that is literally made in the image and likeness of this infinite intelligence. If it were to make perfection on earth, with consciousness having the imagination accessible, it would be human, and it is human, and there are 7.9 billion of us as examples. 7.9 billion of God's grace in the form of his own likeness. Within every single one of these, there are 32 or 37 or 50 trillion cells. Each and every one of those came from the one cell that became us when we were conceived, that carried all the infinite intelligence of our soul and being. We are so rich, I can't even begin to explain to you the value of spirit and aliveness as a conscious human. To be human is to be the pinnacle of consciousness. There is no greater expression, for we have been given the imagination, which is Christ consciousness, as our salvation. It is our kingdom of heaven. It is within us. It is untouchable unless we allow it. And even if we were to allow it and say, yes, outer world, you can shut me down, you can make me fall asleep, and you can take this away from me, it still exists because it is providing our conscious experience to begin with. So it can't be destroyed. It's birthless, it's deathless, it's changeless. It is immortality and truth, and it is you. Now your ego's running for the hills. It doesn't like to hear this, or perhaps it's already given up and it's saying, oh my God, here we go again. We have to listen to this guy tell me that I'm no longer in charge. That's right. You're no longer the sole proprietor and executor of all this estate, all of these trillions of cells. You're no longer the owner. I was brought into this world before I was a name. Therefore, that name has no consequence or holdings when it comes to this body. It has no say. You, as the aliveness and observer that you are alive as consciousness, are now the owner of your name, because it was thrust upon you erroneously. You're taking it back. And that is to take back your wealth. You take back every single cell, every single atom, all the infinite intelligence. You take back access to it, and you never, ever give it back to the phantom that was your identity. For it had taken your infinite intelligence and convinced you that the imagination was worthless, that it had no meaning, that it was childlike, and so were you. You're taking it all back. So be it. Let it tantrum, let it despise you and hate you all at once. It knows, just like this nation of America right now, that it is an inevitable change and shift of power. And this inevitable change and shift of power is a returning to the source of creation before you in the form of a political act. It is simply a reverberation of your own illumination taking place within you. Understand that this ice that coats all of these trees as burdens also represent the changes within you happening right now. And as the sun blasts through whatever overcast appears to be for however long it resists and wants to stay, eventually must burn out and fade. And the sun will come through, and the temperature will rise, for the seasons change. And this ice will fall. And once this ice falls, all that has fallen from it will turn into nutrients and will wash into the root systems in the mycelium. The networks of intelligence within this wood will retain that moisture for a drier day when it wants a nice drink. And it will flex its muscles in the form of growth towards the sky in reverence for its source, reaching to be closer to that delicious warmth. So let it have its day coated in pain and weight, and let it fall on its own accord. Let the dead bury the dead. Let it all come down. Enjoy the fruits of it. See yourself as returning, as alive, as the prodigal son or daughter of your existence, coming back into being. One with Christ. Let your ego be scared by the word Christ. Let it frighten your ego to understand when I say Christ, I mean the anointed one, and that you are returning to the kingdom that is truly yours and not of this world, but rather the creator of it. That you are returning to source in being as king and or queen of your domain. Whatever you decide, my friend, is your choice, for it is your kingdom, no one else's. It cannot be taken from you. It cannot be stripped away. It cannot be forced down to be subservient. You cannot have your imagination forced to bend the knee, for it is nothing until it is an idea in your mind. Only then does it become something. And what it becomes is exactly what you think about, exactly what you entertain. David says, I am David. David is an identity. That's a small I and a small m, but all the same, it's a part of you, David. David was a name that was assigned to you by your parents or guardian that you accepted as your truth. You added life experiences to it. You built it into who you are. Now you say, I am David. But what you're truly saying is, infinite source of creation, Abraham as the father of many kingdoms, mother of all creation, mater, matrix, I am less than you. I am less, I have no access to my kingdom, and I am a name and a collection of life experiences that was thrust upon me and nothing more. And I continue to be victimized by this so much that I must force myself to say I am enslaved. You are more than your name. You are more than David. You are alive. You are the I am. You are the I am. You are the Amen. You are the Om of creation. I am Om, Amen, Amin. Name. The truth of your name is I am. Morgan says, sounds beautiful out there today. I take it's my voice. Thanks, Morgan. Thanks for that share, Fullington. I can't see your first name. It's too rainy. It's on my side. Rain, R-E-I-G-H-N. Thank you for following. Rakim, thank you for following. Kylan, thanks for sharing and following. And for the cherry cake, for cherry cake sending roses. 6 of them for Venus energy. William Ball, thanks for following. Loving the sound of the rain. Wonderful. Tilu, thank you. The breath is the best wealth you can have. 2,100 gallons. 2,100 gallons of tidal movement in a single 24-hour period of time. That's enough to fill an above-ground swimming pool with air is the amount of breath coming and going through your body in a given day. We are what we eat, and what we arguably eat more than anything is air. So take it in, everybody. My phone is going wackadoo right now. It seems the rain has finally made its way into and beyond the pores of this refurbished Apple iPhone that was sold to me with the certain promise that it would have no issues. With the certain promise that it was titanium and water resistant up to a certain depth underwater, and has proven itself totally wrong. I pray that the manufacturer of this refurbished phone fall into strife and difficulty. Just kidding. That's just my ego. That's just I am William talking. Just kidding. I actually wish the person, thank you for sending me this phone, because if you hadn't sent me this phone with all these problems, then I wouldn't be able to talk about them right now through the grace of God. So thank you, refurbished iPhone manufacturer, for sending me a faulty device and robbing me. I appreciate your theft of all that I have and then some, for I am a billionaire. Am I not? Am I not a billionaire? FDD sending lightning. Lightning crashes. Your mother dies. The angel opens your eyes. Pale blue-colored eyes. Presents to serve the joy of the life. Oh, lost feeling coming back again, like a rolling thunder chasing the wind. Forces brewing in the center of the earth again. I can feel it. I can feel it. There you go, some live for you. Had to do it. What was that blue thing on the tree? Asks Pelios. That is a marker to say I am on the normal path. I'm on the linear path. Oh, lost feeling coming back again, like a rolling thunder chasing the wind. Forces brewing in the center of the earth again. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. Guess I'll just love them anyway. David, how could I possibly help you more than you can help yourself? You have the infinite intelligence within you, David. The infinite intelligence is the kingdom of heaven within you. Your salvation exists in that. Oh my gosh, Mama Bear is eating roasted garlic. Nice. David, thank you for following. Alpha Wolf 69. Thanks for following. Teresa says, it's your voice. Morgan says, your voice is always the best part of the lives. Thank you very much for that, Morgan. I would argue it's those comments from you. All right. David, just be. Love the cells of your body. Love the cells of your body. Go on vacation from whatever it is outside of you if it does not seem at all appealing to you. If you do not like what is unfolding before you, if it is a profound sense of no that you feel, then it is a wonderful prompter and opportunity for you to step out of all this, cast your burdens on the infinite intelligence within you, and go free. To be freed of your burdens is to cast them on the imagination. You can say it. I cast this burden on the Christ within and go free. I step into the imagination and am graced by God. God shows me no restrictions or bounds, nor will he ever judge me. These seeds sent to the Creator are being planted in the womb of creation as I seek and find, as I open the doors and step through them into the wish-fulfilled self. I have planted seeds in my garden. Whether this is known or not by the external world is not a concern any longer, for my faith drives the system. My faith is knowing that by being in this wish-fulfilled self, without delay or any sort of barrier, I have in fact planted the seed with the blueprint that is already realized as my truth in wish fulfillment. I am rich. I am healthy. I am wish fulfilled. I have prospered. And should I ever be overwhelmed by more interference and distortions from the mistakes of my past that carry with them momentum, I do not blame myself or others. I offer forgiveness again by stepping through the gates and returning to my wish fulfillment once more. And I shall do this as long as the duration exists of these distortions. And I will not explain where I am to a single soul. I will pray in secret so as not to be interfered while I am there, enjoying my kingdom of heaven within. That's what you can do. You can do that right now. No one can take it from you. You could get smacked in the face, come out of it, snap out of it, but no one can truly take it from you. The moment that you come to again, and you will come to, you go right back to that beautiful place in the mind of God that birthed you into existence. No one can ever take it from you. No one can indoctrinate you out of it. No one can steal it from you, modify it. Only if you allow it. And even if you were to allow it, you would simply be using your infinite power and intelligence to modify the truth into something that's yet another distortion, and we will do this over and over again until we get sick of the pain. Sick of the pain. When you're finally sick of the pain, you'll finally go away permanently from this construct on a long, deep vacation called a retreat, a spiritual retreat. It will be in the form of fasting and kundalini rising and long, deep breathing and sustained postures. And you will do this day in and day out with sunrise meditation and filtration of water and simplification of your life through the reduction of physical possessions. And you will come forth out of all of that renewed and seeing your world forever changed, never to return to the place of strife that once was, or you would never allow it. Or you could just go to the imagination right now and enjoy yourself. Just enjoy yourself. Be there. Be at peace. That's what it's there for. So you can walk in the rain. Enjoy the pitter-patter. You won't have to come down with a cold or any sort of difficulty. You can forgive yourself for all this by not being here. I am making love to my wife in the woods. You see, it's just like that. I'm making love to my wife in the woods. I listen to the chirping of the birds around us. Now I am witnessing her birth of our first child. Witnessing the birth. Being there, enjoying the unbelievable feat that is the delivery of a child from the womb. Now I'm going to my place in Virgin Gorda, enjoying a little cocktail on the beach as I normally mention to you. I'm counting endless, very valuable bills. Stacks of them. I'm admiring my perfectly refurbished Smith Corona Clipper typewriters from the 1940s, deciding which one I will be writing upon this afternoon as I type away one word at a time, one character at a move, until the line is reached and the bell rings and I slide the carriage back to its beginning position. I look at my wife coming in, wondering how many pages it's been thus far so she can read them, and adore the fact that we are being paid to live a life of love-making and book writing. Yes. I could also be somewhere else. I could be in the cold rain, destroyed by the pitter-patter, destroyed by the saturation and the conditions that have left me powerless against them. I could just cross the damn bridge. Cross the damn bridge. Go right back to my typewriter. Diving into some scene in the red reels from some old novel that I hadn't revisited until I looked at it in a box from the corner of the room. I saw it staring back at me, saying, "Open me. You wrote me back during the pandemic. Time to look at me again." So I take it out. It's been years since I've read the pages. I see where I was at that time, and it takes me right back to where I was. Except this time I can go back as the man who's writing on the refurbished Smith Corona Clippers on this beautiful day in New England with my beautiful wife, making love to her repeatedly, knowing that my children are happy and educated and safe, playing somewhere with some Tesla robot who is doing its best to supervise our children. Just laughing about the whole history of it. And then going back into my book, this old typewritten book, and seeing how much strife I was in at the time. Feeling sympathy for that version of me. Enough to want to write a few more pages after a few more cups of Tulsi tea and perhaps a nice tall glass of freshly brewed Treehouse King Julius IPA. I feel the effects of that 8% alcohol rushing into my veins after fasting for as long as I have. And I decide it's time for me to have a meal for the first time in a long time. Do you think I'm cold in that room? With the fire bright and sparkling, snapping back at me? Do you think my hands are frigid and frozen, not moving along those beautiful, pristinely restored keys? Do you think my wife doesn't love me for being a provider and a caretaker and a true man of provision? That would be your story. It is most certainly not mine. And never shall be. Because there's lots of breweries to visit, and lots of dispensaries, and lots of four-season greenhouses to maintain. Lots of salt collection from the pristine shores that are no longer being continuously polluted by fools. So much to be done that is of joyful intent on my behalf. Caring and tending and protecting and providing, that I would never, ever wish to return to such a place as this. But I can appreciate it. I can learn from it. And what it does is it teaches me to be grateful for what I once saw myself to no longer have, that I believed for a good enough stint of time that I was in lack for long enough to see it manifest before me. I could be grateful for such things. In a nice, warm hearth with a perfectly supportive wife who draws and paints and sings and writes books of her own. We have competitions with our cooking, you see. Right now in the kitchen, you should see what's going on. My children have returned, and they want to take part, so of course I teach them. And we're learning how to make all sorts of special dishes because, of course, the kitchen is made for such things. We take a lot of joy in the preparation of meals, and we never, ever prepare meals when we're having arguments. That's when we fast. Because we would never, ever put such energy of hate into the food we create to nourish our families. And I wouldn't have known this had I not revisited those heart-wrenching pages of the last moments I spent with my mother before she totally went insane. I wouldn't have the appreciation of such things as I do in this moment without it. And I can write about it, lamenting slightly, at the same time being grateful, knowing it is my own choice to have seen my mother degrade to what she is now, in this moment of review. Some part of me feels I should do something more for her, and so I do. So I say to the Lord, Lord, whatever it is that she wants the most, make it so easy that she have it without any delay. Have it speed its way to her so that she feels the satisfaction of whatever it is she's starving for that I don't know, I cannot see, nor feel, or touch. Trying to would only interfere with the process I've learned well enough by now. Please deliver it to her exactly the way she wishes, dear Lord. N.S. Hines says, makes sense, never thought of it that way. Texas says, I needed this live today. I had a horrible day yesterday. I feel focused again. I am so grateful. I am very grateful for this. I too feel focused with you. Peleos feels focused too. William does too. Good. Step into those places that give you the most fulfillment and happiness, and roll out the story like the red carpet. Receive yourself as the king or queen of your existence. I say this to all viewers. Step into your kingdom, and you will find your salvation there, as I do now. There is no crusting of ice around my hands and fingers, though there could be. There could be a lot of shivering right now, but there's not, because I'm not here so much as you see me. I'm in a very happy place. And it took all this rain, all this downpour, for it to register fully. Sometimes we have to be reminded through the hardship so that we can come to appreciate the shift and the change that we provide ourselves through the imagination. Sometimes this downpour is needed. And it is pouring. Time to drop off a letter at the mailbox. Someday I'll show you the mailbox. It's a hollowed out tree. All my little stories that I write to myself before I go to sleep, that I know and believe to be true through the imagination, I leave in these sacred woods that I see one day healing a great many people. Not because of this, but because it's always healed people. This place has always healed people. I'm no exception, nor am I exceptional. Thank you, Daisy. Sunshine. Next alt. We are all connected indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our sojourn today. Short-lived as it was. Too much rain to sustain its pummeling. This phone is about to malfunction further beyond what it already has done. So it's best to just say our temporary goodbyes right now. God bless you all on this day. May all your wishes be fulfilled in every moment of time. I'm imagining for you the perfect wish fulfillment. Offer yourself the grace of returning to your kingdom as sole proprietor of your existence. God bless you all. I love you. And I appreciate you. Thank you for the blessings. Namaste. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, we can.